And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. Welcome back, my people. It is Monday, so it is time to get to the people who gave super thanks throughout the week. You all are so very much appreciated. But before we do, as always, got to give a shout out to the channel members. Shout out to Gary, aka G the Great One, Thanos Snap Feminism, Charles Hookah, In the Groove 56, Great Juice, The Real Siberius, The Real Heisenberg, Mary Lewis, Rike, Vernon Lee Warren, It's Not That Serious, Ant Weston, Keith Brazell, Chase 1738, Austin Casey, Daryl Stewart, Adidas 20, O Ludwig Drummer, Wayman Earls, Rick Claverly, Multi Breezy B, Papa Yogito, Whizman Ballin, Twin, Dr. Les Barrett, Drum Jackson, and Eric C. Shout out to the channel members. I truly cannot thank you all enough for being members of the channel. And without further ado, people, let's get into some super thanks. First up, this is coming from my JJ Redick Destroys LeBron with the Truth video. And in this video, I talk about, I guess JJ Redick was at some college campus or something, and they asked him what has he learned in his first year of coaching the Lakers, of coaching the Duck. And his response was, he learned that everyone is not built like Kobe Bryant. So shout out to Dr. Les Barrett coming through with the $2 super thanks. He says, true, Uncommon, the dishonorable attempt to change the standard of greatness was disgusting and made the game a draw for pathetic comments from people who thought that they could deceive the whole world to accept LeBron. Not only did they attempt to change the standard, but unfortunately they lowered it to where the fraudulence of the NBA has seesawed to never before imagined heights. It's all about how much money a player can suck out of the game and for how long. Facts, not the quality of the game, the excitement they bring, nor the competitive spirit to overcome adversity. In other words, they got rid of everything that sports is supposed to be about. He says excuses and diminishing the accomplishments of former greats form the basis of the legacy that this generation is doomed to have. Although seeing young people who are awakening from the LeBron James propaganda machine is a reason to have a glimmer of hope. The possibility that at least most people will understand that the GOAT debate isn't simply a matter of a clash of personalities, but a matter of us not betraying ourselves to sheepishly follow a trend that has spiraling standards compared to established expectations of excellence. Our youth who refuse to be blind followers are by far the reason for that hope of having a standard of genuine greatness in future generations. Shout out to Dr. Les Barrett for that fantastic comment. Yeah, this is all true. And, you know, there is a lot of the younger generation, fortunately, there's a lot of the younger generation waking up to the Duck and really just this current way of society. But there's a lot of the younger generation who's going back and doing the research and seeing with their own eyes. Because this is the thing that I've been saying since I started this channel is the eyes don't lie. You know, we can talk about stats and everything all day. But I think if you sat people in front of a TV and you let them watch Michael Jordan, you let them watch Kobe, you let them watch Tim Duncan, you let them watch Hakeem Olajuwon, you let them watch Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and Kareem and Wilt and Russell and Oscar Robertson and just various players, the eyes will pretty much tell you exactly what you need to know. And if you then watch the duck, the deer, the leader of the 4 and 6 kingdom, your eyes will tell you that there is something wrong here. Your eyes will tell you that, hey, everything that they say about this guy on TV isn't true. It could have been true if LeBron James put in the work, if LeBron James wasn't the entitled spoiled brat that came into the league, if he was willing to become better at the things he's deficient at, it could have been true. But LeBron James is who he is, and who he is not the GOAT. Matter of fact, who he is someone who has cheated the game for most of his career. And so, yeah, if there is a glimmer of hope, that is it, is that the fact that there are young people waking up to this, which is precisely why I continue to do this channel, is to reach the younger generation, is to put information out there and to point at the things that LeBron James does that will prevent you from getting to where you want to get in life, unless you happen to be 260 pounds and can jump out the gym. This is what saved LeBron James. Otherwise, he is Bronny James. and to be fair, not even everybody is as athletic as Bronny James. But yeah, if it wasn't for LeBron James having the natural gifts that he had in terms of athleticism, LeBron James likely wouldn't even be in the NBA if he wasn't 6'9" and 200 and, like I said, jumping out the gym. But shout out to Dr. Les Barrett. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so very, very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to the Dr. 3196. This is coming from my Allen Iverson video. Makes LeBron, Joel Embiid, and others look soft because they are soft. And in this video, Allen Iverson was talking about load management. He was talking to Stephen A. Smith. He said, can you imagine a coach trying to tell me I can't play because they're going to rest me? I mean, it just sounds ridiculous to say, especially for those of us who grew up. I mean, I say in the 90s because that's my generation, but even for those, who came before, that sounds ridiculous to say that this sport we grew up loving and watching, no matter why you fell in love with the sport of basketball. It could have been back in the Wilt Chamberlain days. Whatever reason you fell in love with the game, and, the amount of us that probably daydreamed about making it to the NBA. Can you imagine making it to the NBA, something that people dream about, and knowing how slim of a chance it is, and then getting there and then trying to find ways to not play. When we were playing, like I said, we were playing 5 to 6, 7 days a week on the outside courts just because we love the game, just because we love the competition, playing every single day almost. And now you're getting paid millions of dollars. And I mean, like I said, it just sounds ridiculous. But anyway, shout out to the Dr. 3196. He says, as a musician, if you fumble even one key during a performance, that entire show is ruined. There is no referee, timeout. There is no post-show interview to make excuses. I had a sore thumb for 3 to 4 weeks and had to sit out rehearsals and practice. But check my stats. I work in healthcare and we have zero excuse to load manage and flop patient care because that means higher mortality. See how this LeBron thing doesn't work for the rest of us? I mean, yeah, exactly. And the sad part about it is it shouldn't work for LeBron James. It shouldn't work for LeBron James. The fact that the NBA has allowed this to become the culture of the NBA, because at this point, this is what we're talking about. Like this is prevalent in society as a whole, and it has overtaken the NBA. But like I said, this is the LeBron James effect, because LeBron James has been the face of the league. But yeah, it's completely ridiculous. And what, especially, like I said, is you can't do that or shouldn't do that in any job, but especially, my thing is especially, this is supposed to be a job, your dream job. This is supposed to be a job that you, that so many people want, that you happen to be one of the fortunate people to get it. And now you just spend time making a mockery of it, flopping and low management and anyway. Shout out to the Dr. 3196. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to the real Siberius. He comes through with the $5 super thanks, and this is coming from my LeBron James talks with Savannah James about integrity and lying, people. I would say those are two topics that LeBron James should shy away from at all times, but he didn't, because he is very he is very unaware. He has no self-awareness. But he says, the words they should have been discussing are delusion and detachment. They did themselves a disservice by reading out the definition of the word before they started. Without the definition, they may have been a few lesser educated listeners that didn't know exactly what it meant, and they could have manipulated that in their favor to make themselves look better. Having the audacity to talk about integrity and lying with the with the least integritous person ever is detachment on a different stratosphere. She asks, do you think we live in a world where integrity is valued? You and your husband have absolutely no integrity at all, and all you do is lie. Someone with integrity wouldn't call themselves the GOAT. Someone with integrity wouldn't call their husband the GOAT. Someone with integrity wouldn't have their children call them the GOAT. An integritous person wouldn't cheat the game, diminish others to build themselves up, and damn sure wouldn't be flopping on the floor like a gunshot victim. They also wouldn't have to beg for respect, because an integritous person knows respect is earned, not given. How is it that the most sensitive player in sports is talking about hurting people's feelings and whining about not being able to tell people the truth? In order to speak the truth, you must first have to be able to hear the truth about yourself, which you cannot do. Your ego is fragile. Your self-esteem is a farce. Your self-aggrandizing is weakness seeking validation. Your language is lies, and context is your kryptonite. Your facade falls apart with a minimal amount of scrutiny. Pretty please with sugar on top. Go the F away forever. Wow, I don't know what more to add to this. This is very well stated. I will say this, there's a lot of people who are so ready for LeBron James to go away. I must say, at this point, people, I'm very amused and entertained by the fact that LeBron James keeps finding a way to go lower and lower. I mean, this is pretty amazing stuff. Now, this is something that he may truly be the GOAT at. But having the ability to outdo yourself with how low you can go. But yeah, and then the other thing is, like I said, at this point, I don't know if LeBron James leaving the NBA is going to make it better as long as Adam Silver is still running it. I think it's going to take a new commissioner for the NBA to actually get better. Kind of the same way that the Lakers had to get new owners to finally kind of shut the door on LeBron and start forcing him out and saying, hey, yeah, well, you can play this last year, but after this year, we don't have anything for you. If you want to keep continuing to steal money from the NBA, you're going to have to do it on another team. And that's kind of the way I feel about LeBron James' retirement at this point is, and he's obviously not going to go away even when he retires. I mean, for goodness sake, he's trying to follow in the footsteps of Kobe Bryant and be a storyteller. So, once he retires, it's going to be nothing but podcasts and him putting out more propaganda. He's probably going to be doing the shopping, mind the game, and who knows what else. But anyway, yeah, everything the real Siberia said here is very true. And, the fact that LeBron James would sit there. Well, first of all, even the fact that he would be on a podcast, because you would think that the host, well, one with Savannah James, but the other host, I don't know her name, but you would think she would know enough about LeBron James to know that this is a ridiculous question. Unless she was just trying to expose LeBron. But to sit there and listen to him and laugh with him, I would have been looking at him like, man, please. Don't say anything at all, because everything that's coming out of your mouth right now is a lie. You talking about, back in the 90s and 80s, people wasn't so sensitive. LeBron James, you are king sensitive. You are king sensitive. You are the king of lying. You are the king of no integrity. But anyway, shout out to the real Siberians. Thank you so much for the $5 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to G the Great One. This comes from my Joel Embiid accepts being a part-time player. Surprise, surprise, people. Joel Embiid. He's cool with being a part-time player. He understands that, that even when he plays this season, it's going to be on a heavy load management schedule. This is what the article said. He understands that and he accepts that. Surprise. Is anyone surprised that Joel Embiid is okay with being a part-time player? Shout out to G the Great One coming through with the $2 super thanks. He says the NBA needs to definitely make a few rule changes, starting with paying players per game played. If you want to sit out back-to-back, cool, but you will not be paid for that game. Also, I don't think players should be able to sign deals longer than 3 years. This would hopefully keep them playing for the next contract. Additionally, teams should only be able to sign one player to a max deal. If these guys want to team up, cool, but the second and third guy will not be paid max money. There really should be a decrease in salary for every roster spot, so the third guy can't even make as much as the second star. For example, if the max player is making $50 million per season, the second star can only make $40 million and the third star $30 million. This will stop some of the super team building. I can go on and on with rules changes, but I'll stop there. Shout out to G the Great One. Yeah, I don't disagree with any of these rules. This is kind of, I've been saying this for a while now. Is players should definitely get paid on a game-to-game basis. Like, to me, this is the only way to stop some of this foolishness. I promise you, if players got paid on a game-to-game basis, even if it wasn't for the love of the game, they would feel the need to play to have to make that money. And yeah, shorter contracts. Like you said, that would keep them playing to have to renew these contracts. So again, even if they weren't playing for the passion and love of the game, they would have to play to make sure they get that next contract that they want. Because at this point, it's ridiculous. Like, and you know, I know a lot of people who are on this on board with players just trying to make as much money as possible. I'm sorry, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I believe you should make as much money as you earn. Not as much money as you can, but as much money as you can earn. So if you're out there playing hard and get better year to year, then yeah, you deserve whatever you can get. But if you one of these players, which is unfortunately, I believe most of the players, like I said, because LeBron James has ruined the league. This is the culture that LeBron James has created. If you one of these players who, you know, constantly trying to get the most money you can, and you're low management and low managing and all these things, or one of these players who's chronically injured and, you know, hadn't played a whole season in years and years, it's like, yeah, that's ridiculous. At that point, you're cheating the game, even if it is a legitimate injury. I mean, who in the real world can be injured and not go to work and still be collecting the same amount of money that they would make if they were working? So yeah, I don't care if the injury is real. Like, there has to be some kind of penalty for that. You know, you need to make less money, or at the very least, you know, to me, it's like you injured 4 years in a row. It's time for the league to put you on hiatus. Like, you come back when you can prove that, you know, or I should say, come back with a doctor's note. Come back with a doctor's note that says this player has been through a thorough examination and rehab and this, and we can guarantee you that aside from some freak accident, he is in good shape to play. Like, he won't be suffering from this same reoccurring injury anymore. But yeah, you know, it's just ridiculous. But shout out to G the Great One. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so very, very much for your continued support of the channel. And next up, shout out to Swan Daily. This is coming from my Bronny James. Please retire now. He says, I thought I'd hit you with another societal super thanks related to the NBA. We're slowly becoming a society that values meritocracy less and less, and we're going to see the dangerous ramifications of it soon if we haven't really seen it yet. People are hiring underqualified surgeons and pilots these days. Therefore, many people will be harmed in the future. While the Bronny James situation is a lower stakes thing, I don't want to watch a league that features Jason Tatum and John Morant's sons if they really aren't like that. We want to see the best of the best duke it out. As you stated on your channel numerous times, that's the purpose of sports. Every negative LeBron precedent that has had lingering effects, so we should expect the same with this case of undeserved nepotism. Finally, I want to share that I'm not writing all of this from a sanctimonious place. I'm a younger millennial and I was conditioned to be entitled. In the last couple of years, I've been working on rewiring my participation trophy mindset, and your channel has been integral to me as I go on this journey. More or less, meritocracy has kept society functioning, and devaluing it will create dysfunction. Shout out to Swan Daily. Thank you so much for this comment. Yeah. This is a topic that, I mean, we could spend hours talking about this, but I guess I'll say this. Yeah, the whole meritocracy thing, that's a problem. But the actual bigger problem is truth no longer exists in our society. This is the bigger problem to me at the moment, is that truth no longer exists. And so, you know, it's like now, as long as you get the prize, then that's supposedly justification of your qualifications. Now, if you are somehow able to attain the prize, and you can attain that prize by any means, it could be unethical means, but however you get it, once you are in possession of it, now people are supposed to look at you and not be judgmental of how you got it. Now people are supposed to look at you and say you having the prize means that you are qualified. And so that's the problem, is that truth no longer exists. And this is kind of what the whole LeBron James thing. This is why I say if LeBron James was just honest and everybody around him was honest, he would actually be more accepted. He would be more respected if he was just honest about how he went about the game. If he was just honest and was like, look, you know what? I took shortcuts to the top. I took shortcuts to the top of the mountain. But I think even more importantly, the people covering the game, if they were just honest, instead of trying to gaslight people, instead of trying to trick people into thinking that LeBron James is something that he clearly is not. That's the problem, is that everybody in society is willing to participate in delusion. Everybody is willing to say, oh, well, he has 4 championships and he's the all-time leading scorer. But when you bring up the cheating the game aspect of it, nobody wants to talk about it. And then I mean nobody, including some of these other YouTuber fanboys who are fanboys of LeBron James and, try to make videos to say, oh, well, Michael Jordan quit too. He quit because he retired. That's clearly not the same thing. It's like the fact that we even have to have conversations about that and explain that to somebody is completely ridiculous. That's clearly not the same thing. So, yeah, I think the biggest problem in society is honesty right now. But anyway, we could go, like I said, this is a topic that we could really spend a long time talking about. But we're going to hold up on that one right there. Shout out to Swan Daily. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to the Real Siberians coming through with the $2 super thanks. And this is coming from my LeBron Super Glazer on Gil's Arena. Praises LeBron James for that in-season tournament that nobody even remembers. He says, these people are crazy. They are having to scrape the bottom of the barrel at this point to find things to praise LeBron for. When you have to go to the bubble ring and the in-season tournament, you already lost. LeBron has missed around 153 games as a Laker. He has around 1,500 turnovers as a Laker. He has also missed almost 4,000 shots as a Laker. And people want to build a statue for him? What has he done to earn that? If you look back at the Showtime Lakers to what they have become now, they are a laughingstock. If you look back since Kobe retired, they are a laughingstock. One man and one owner single-handedly destroyed one of the greatest franchises in sports history. And I am saying that as someone who has never been a Lakers fan. I don't know if they can ever come back from this. Shout out to the Real Siberians. And let's also remember that LeBron James averaged 3.6 turnovers as a Laker. That's important because when they were roasting Russell Westbrook trying to say he was a turnover machine, Russell Westbrook also averaged 3.6 turnovers, the same amount of turnovers as LeBron as a Laker. That's how many Russell averaged when he was a Laker. So again, this is just ridiculous. But yeah. that in-season tournament, they need to just do away with that completely. That is completely ridiculous. And the bubble ring, LeBron James hasn't done anything noteworthy as a Laker. And again, this is kind of what I'm talking about. It's like people are so quick to want to throw that in the mix. Matter of fact, the LeBron super glazer who I was talking about, he said that LeBron brought pride back to the city of LA. Like I said, Lakers fans out there, are you guys proud of what LeBron James has done for the city of Los Angeles? I'm sure you are not. But yeah, again, this kind of goes back to everything that we're seeing now. Like I said, this has to do with the fact that people won't be honest about LeBron James. People won't be honest about what they see with this guy. And for whatever reason it is, whether it's for monetary gain or whatever it is, it's like because the NBA has to take a big part of the blame, equal share of the blame, maybe more of a share of the blame than LeBron James, because the NBA, like I said, I believe they were so invested into trying to manufacture the next Michael Jordan that they helped perpetuate all this BS. They helped cover up stuff for LeBron James. They allowed these media people to say things about LeBron James that clearly isn't the truth. They allowed LeBron James to do things within the league that clearly shouldn't have been done. But anyway, shout out to the real Siberians. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so very, very much for your continued support of the channel. And next up, the last two, we got Story Games 8520 coming through with two different $2 super thanks. The first one is from Lucas. Says, hey, we got a next man up mentality as it regards to LeBron James' injury and him missing the beginning of the season. Lucas says, hey, we got to focus on the next man. We can't be worried about a duck that's sitting on the sideline. In his first super thanks, he says, wow, I don't think I have ever heard you curse on a video. Not once, but twice in this one. Goes to show how frustrating it can be, even just talking about LeBron and his antics. He needs to go. The NBA fans are sick of this shh. I don't cuss often in the videos, and I try not to. But, sometimes, every now and again, I do it to get a point across, or just because I forget not to. I make a concerted effort not to do that. But shout out to Story Games. Thanks so much for the $2 super thanks. And the last one is coming from LeBron James punishing the Lakers for choosing Luka. This is kind of seems to be what most people believe, is that all of this injury stuff is LeBron James trying to punish the Lakers. Like I said, for me, it's LeBron James trying to exercise what little bit of control he has left, because he has none with the Lakers. The Lakers chose Luka, LeBron James, you got to get over it. Stop pouting, stop being a kid, grow up, and, but why would we expect that at this point in your career? But he comes through with the $2 super thanks. He says, I'm a Knicks fan. Ignore the hat in my profile picture. Okay, I really can't see it from here. He says, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I will be thoroughly rooting for the Lakers for the first month of the season. If the Lakers can do well without LeBron James and then he comes back and stinks up the joint, we can effectively see the end of LeBron James in LA. Yeah, I would say this. I agree with you. I am rooting for the Lakers as long as LeBron James is out of the lineup. And I really hope, like you say, I hope when he comes back, it is an immediate turnaround and they start to suck. Because at this point, it will be clear, number one, that they made the right choice in Luka. But more importantly, for you LeBron James fanboys and cappers out there, even though I know you will still live in your delusion, I know you're holding on to it like the love that you never had. It should be a wake-up call for you guys that your king, like I said, LeBron James, and this is not new. This is not just since he's been a Laker. In comparison to some other superstars, especially the greats, LeBron James is actually a hindrance to his team. He's a hindrance to his team. At some point, I may have to do a video actually breaking this kind of stuff down. But LeBron James is a hindrance to his team, just on a psychological and mental level, because he's not a competitor like that. But we could go on and on. Shout out to Story Games 8520. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you to each and every one of you who continue to support this channel. I truly cannot thank you enough. And if you're a viewer who regularly watch my videos and haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. As I always say at the end of these videos, please continue to support the content creators who always give you their honest and unpaid for opinions. Shout out to Angry Old Hoops. Shout out to Sports and Fitness Rant. Shout out to Uncut Hoops. Shout out to Scap Attack. Shout out to Man Down Sports and Sports Tea. Shout out to 93Z. Shout out to Self-Research Basketball Facts. Shout out to Too Raw for Sports, if I hadn't said it already. Ticket TV. Shout out to Brandon Love Sports. Shout out to the Basketball Show. Shout out to the Real Mind Crime. Shout out to Red Blooded Sports. And anybody else who I may be forgetting, please drop them in the comments. Let me know what you think about any of the comments that were read here today. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.